Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you? It's been very long time since I haven't met you.
Yeah, I'm good. And I hope you are doing good too. You know what? I've been wanting to talk to you about something serious. And I've been doing some research about, domestic violence for my social studies project, and it's really opened my eyes.
Yeah, I think that's a heavy topic. So, what made you choose to research that specifically?
Honestly, I saw some statistics that shocked me, that domestic violence affects millions of people worldwide, regardless of their background or social status.
Really? I always thought it was mainly a problem in certain communities or social classes.
That's what I used to think too, but it turns out it happens everywhere, and I've been trying to understand why it happens in the first place. Uh, what do you think causes someone to become abusive?
That's a thought question. I guess anger management issues might be one reason.
Well, yeah, I thought that too at first, but my research showed it's actually more complicated. Like anger is not really the root cause. It's more about power and control.
What do you mean by power and control?
Well, from what I have learned, abusers often try to dominate their partners through different tactics, and it's not just physical violence. They might control the money, isolate their partner from friends and family, or use emotional manipulations.
Oh, I see. I never thought about it that way, but what leads someone to want that kind of control?
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. My research showed several factors. Sometimes it's learned behavior from growing up in an abusive home. Other times it might be deep-seated insecurities or beliefs about relationships and power.
Wait. So you are saying people might learn this behavior from their families?
Yeah, it's like a cycle. Children who witness abuse might grow up thinking it's normal, but that doesn't mean everyone who grows up in an abusive home becomes abusive themselves.
That's scary to think about. How does someone break that cycle?
So, from what I have read, it takes a lot of awareness and usually professional help, but it is possible. What concerns me is how the effects ripple through everyone involved.
So, what kind of effects are you talking about?
Well, so there are immediate effects like physical injuries and fear, but the long-term psychological impact can be, devastating. Victims often struggle with anxiety, depressions, and also PTSD.
Oh yeah, I never realized the mental health impact could be so severe. So how does that affect their daily lives?
It can impact everything, their work, relationship, even their physical health. Some survivors have trouble trusting people or, forming new relationships for years afterward.
Yeah, that makes sense. It must be really hard to trust again after experiencing something like that. So, what about children who grow up seeing this?
That's actually one of the most heartbreaking parts. Children who witness domestic violence can experience developmental delays, emotional problems, and trouble in school too. They might have difficulty forming healthy relationship later in life. I think so.
But why don't people just leave when they abuse when the abuse is starting?
That's a common question, but it is not that simple and it is not that easy. There are so many reasons why someone might stay: fear, financial independence, children, lack of support systems. And sometimes the most dangerous time for a victim is when they try to leave.
I never thought about that financial aspect actually, but I guess it will be hard to live if you depend on someone for housing and basic needs.
Yeah, exactly. And abusers often control all the money, making it it's even harder to escape, and some victims do not even have access to their own bank accounts.
That's horrible. It's like they are trapped. And, are there any warning sign people should watch out for this?
Yes, actually, red flags might include extreme jealousy, controlling behavior, quick temper, isolating their partner from friends and family, constant criticism.
So from those seems obvious when you list them out, but I guess they might be harder to spot it in real life.
Yeah, that's the thing. These behaviors often start subtly and get worse over time, and the victim might not even realize what is happening until they're deeply trapped in that situation.
So how does society's views of this domestic violence affect all this?
Okay, that's a good question. Sometimes cultural beliefs or social stigma can make it even harder for victims to seek help. And also, some communities might pressure people to stay in an abusive relationship just for the family.
And then what about gender roles? Does that play a part?
Yep, definitely. Traditional gender roles and expectations can contribute so much into the problem. And some people still believe that men should control everything in their families or that women should be submissive.
So men can be a victim too?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Men can be victims too, so they might face different challenges in seeking help due to stigma and, like societal expectations about masculinity.
Okay, so this is all seems so overwhelming. And so what can regular people like us do to help?
Well, there are several things we can learn to recognize, like warning signs, support organizations that help survivors, and speak up. That's the most important thing. Speak up against attitudes that normalize abuse.
So yeah, now I'm curious about the role of education. Do you think teaching young people about healthy relationships would help?
Um, for my research, education is crucial. Teaching people about consent, respect, and healthy communication from an early age could help prevent abuse.
What about the legal systems? How does it protect the victims?
That's complicated. There are laws and protections, but enforcement also can be challenging. Restraining orders exist, but they are not always effective.
Then, what the research are available for someone who needs help?
There are domestic violence hotlines, shelters, counseling services, and legal aid. And so many organizations provide confidential support 24/7.
This has been really eye-opening. I feel like I understand the issues much better now.
Yeah, me too. The more I learn, the more I realize how important it is to talk about these issues openly nowadays.
Okay, so what do you think are the most important things communities can do to prevent domestic violence?
So, based on my research, it's about creating a culture of respect, supporting victims, and holding abuser accountable, and also providing resources for preventions and interventions.
I think it's heavy stuff, but I'm glad we talked about it. It makes me want to get involved somehow.
Yeah, same here. Maybe we could look into volunteering at local organizations or helping raise awareness.
That's a great idea sometimes. I feel overwhelming, but I guess change starts with understanding and taking action, even in small ways.
Yeah, and having conversations like this help break the silence around domestic violence, right?
True, it's not an easy topic, but staying quiet doesn't help anyone.
Okay, so thank you, Amanda. Thank you for listening and engaging in this conversation. It means a lot to be able to discuss such serious issue like this with you.
Yeah, thank you to you too for educating me. I feel much better and more informed now, and I will definitely be more aware of these issues going forward.
That's great. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day too. See ya.
Bye bye.